It was a Friday in my senior year, the kind of day that felt like a reward after a long week. Ninth period was my free period. A little perk I'd worked into my schedule so I could ditch school early and soak up what was left of the afternoon. The sun was high, the air warm for spring, maybe 80 degrees, and my buddies and I were already texting about hitting the beach. We'd earned it, right? A couple of us were hanging out in the hallway near the gym, waiting for our other friend to sneak out of class. The plan was simple. He'd dodge the gym teacher after roll call, slip through the locker room, and meet us here. We leaned against the lockers, joking about how he'd probably trip over his own feet trying to pull it off. Everything felt light, easy, like the world was ours for the taking. I didn't think twice about the quiet settling in. It was just another day winding down. The hallway started to empty out. Most kids were either in class or gone already. We were still waiting, scrolling through our phones, when the double doors at the end of the hall creaked open. Some guy walked in. Not a big deal at first, except he didn't fit. Black sweatpants, black zip-up hoodie with the hood pulled tight over his head, and a bulky black backpack slung over one shoulder. On a day this warm, it was off. He moved slow, deliberate, like he was scoping the place out. As he got closer, his eyes locked onto us. One by one, a hard, unblinking stare that made my skin prickle. One of my friends stepped forward, chest puffed out, and snapped, "What's your deal, man? Get lost." The guy stopped dead, turned, and stared him down, his voice low and sharp. "You got a problem?" I felt my stomach tighten. Something about him, those eyes, that stance, screamed trouble. But I brushed it off, told myself he was just some weirdo passing through. He didn't say anything else, just turned and kept walking down the hall, disappearing around the corner. We laughed it off, nervous chuckles mostly, agreeing he looked sketchy as hell. Probably some dropout, we said, or a kid we didn't recognize from another class. But the vibe had shifted. Our easy Friday buzz was gone. I checked my phone again, texting our friend to hurry up. He shot back, "Can't yet. School's on lockdown." Lockdown? My heart skipped. No alarm had gone off. No announcement crackled over the speakers. I looked at my buddies, their faces mirroring my confusion. Then we noticed. The doors leading to the locker room hallway were shut tight, locked from the other side. We were stuck out here, cut off. That's when it hit me. The guy in black. He'd come through those exit doors, doors no one's supposed to use to get in. My mind started spinning, piecing it together. But I didn't want to believe it yet. We stood there, frozen, trying to figure out what was happening. Then it came, sharp, sudden pops echoing down one of the hallways. At first, I thought it was something dumb, like a teacher slamming a stack of books on a desk to wake up a slacker. But then another pop, and another, faster, closer. Screams followed, high-pitched, panicked, the kind that rip through you. My brain clicked, gunshots. My legs went weak, but I couldn't move, couldn't think. Then I saw him, the guy in black, sprinting back toward us from the far end of the hall. His hood was still up, but now I could see his face twist into something wild, furious. He was coming straight for us. Panic swallowed me whole. My chest felt like it was caving in, my breath stuck somewhere between a gasp and a scream. We didn't wait. We bolted for those exit doors he'd come through, shoving them open and running like our lives depended on it. Because they did. Outside, the sunlight blinded me for a second, but we didn't stop. We tore across the grass, past the edge of the school grounds, and into the woods that hugged the property line. Branches snapped under my sneakers, my lungs burned, but I kept going. I stole a glance back. He was there, chasing us, maybe 50 yards behind. His voice cut through the air, raw and ragged, yelling stuff I couldn't make out at first. Then I caught it. "I'm gonna kill you!" My heart slammed so hard I thought it'd burst. We dodged trees, stumbled over roots, the fence around the school blurring past us. I looked back again. He was still coming, but slower now, losing ground. Every step felt like a gamble. Would he catch up? Was he armed? My mind raced with flashes of what could have happened if we'd stayed, if we'd hesitated even a second longer. Death felt so close I could taste it, metallic and cold. We made it deeper into the woods, past a cluster of trees thick enough to shield us. My legs gave out, and I dropped to the ground, flattening myself against the dirt. My buddies did the same, all of us panting, trying to quiet our breaths. Then we heard it, footsteps crunching through the underbrush, getting louder, closer. I pressed my face into the soil, the damp smell filling my nose, praying he wouldn't see us. He was out there, moving fast, searching. I peeked through the leaves and saw him, black hoodie, wild eyes scanning the trees. He ran past, maybe 20 feet away, then kept going, his steps fading into the distance. We waited, hearts pounding, until we couldn't hear him anymore. Then we ran again, back toward the senior parking lot, my car our last shot at safety. I don't know how I didn't collapse. My body was screaming, my mind a mess of fear and relief and pure animal instinct. We piled into my car and I floored it out of there, the beach forgotten, the day ruined. We ended up at my house, sprawled out on the couch, still shaking. My phone blew up later. Group chats, social media, everyone talking about it. Turns out he'd shot a new teacher, hit him twice. The guy lived, thank God, but for a while, everyone thought he was done for. No one knew who the shooter was. Some random psycho, they said. Cops figured he'd targeted us because my friend mouthed off, or maybe he'd always planned to come back for us. They found him later. Tafrosenzau caught him after a neighbor reported him pissing on their lawn near the school before he even walked in. Dressed like that on a hot day, acting like that, it was all red flags we didn't see until it was too late. I keep replaying it, the gunshots, his voice, the way he chased us. I'm alive. Yeah, but I feel different now, haunted, like part of me stayed in those woods, waiting for him to find it. It's been months, and I still jump at loud noises. I don't know if he's locked up or still out there. All I know is I got lucky, and I'll never feel safe like I did before that Friday. I was never the kid who fit in. Back in second grade, I'd sit at my desk, doodling on scraps of paper while everyone else laughed and chatted like it was easy. That day, we were in art class, surrounded by paint and glue, the room buzzing with little voices. I don't know why, but I felt antsy, like I needed to move. The teacher was busy helping someone with their lopsided clay pot, so I saw my chance. A big green plastic crayon sat on her desk, the bathroom pass. I didn't ask. I just grabbed it, slipped out the door, and let the classroom noise fade behind me. It felt good, like a tiny rebellion. I told myself I'd be quick. Just a trip down the hall, no big deal. But deep down, I knew I wasn't supposed to do it. That little twist in my gut, I ignored it. The hallway stretched out long and quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your own footsteps sound too loud. My sneakers squeaked on the shiny floor, and the crayon felt cold and heavy in my hand. I liked it out here. No one telling me what to do, no eyes watching. The bathroom was at the far end, past rows of lockers and posters about washing your hands. I kept going, humming a little tune to myself, pretending I was on some secret mission. But then the loudspeaker crackled to life overhead, a sharp, scratchy voice cutting through the air. This school is now in lockdown. My stomach dropped. I froze mid-step, the crayon slipping a little in my sweaty grip. Lockdown? We'd done drills before, hide under desks, stay quiet, but this didn't feel like a drill. My heart started thumping, loud and fast, like it wanted to jump out of my chest. I didn't know what to do. The bathroom door was right there, but I bolted out instead, back into the hallway. I had to get to class. I'd get in trouble if they found me out here, right? The hall looked different now. All the classroom doors were shut tight, blinds pulled down, lights off. It was like the school had gone to sleep, but not in a good way. My breath hitched, short and shaky. I clutched the crayon tighter, like it could protect me somehow. I wanted to cry, but I was too scared to even do that. I just stood there, a tiny kid in a big empty space, wondering if I'd messed up worse than I thought. That's when I saw him, a man walking toward me, his shadow stretching long against the wall. My brain said he was a teacher. He had to be, right? Who else would be here? He didn't look like my teachers. No tie, no clipboard, just a plain jacket and jeans, moving slow and steady down the hall. I swallowed hard, my throat dry as sandpaper. "Excuse me," I squeaked, my voice so small I barely heard it myself. "I'm locked out of my classroom." He stopped, turned his head, and smiled at me. Not a nice smile, not like the principals or the lunch ladies. It was sharp, like he knew something I didn't. "Oh, that's all right," he said, his voice low and smooth. "Come with me. I know where to go." He reached out, his hand big and rough, and grabbed mine before I could pull back. My stomach twisted so hard I thought I'd be sick. His grip was tight, too tight, and he started walking, pulling me toward the back of the school, where the exit sign glowed red like a warning. We'd only taken a few steps when a scream ripped through the air behind us. It was her, my art teacher, her voice high and wild, like she'd seen a ghost. "Let go of him," she yelled, running toward us, her shoes slapping the floor. The man's hand jerked, but he didn't let go right away. She reached us, her face red and sweaty, and yanked my arm so hard I stumbled. He let go then, his fingers sliding off mine, and I saw him turn, his shadow disappearing around a corner. She dragged me back to the classroom, her breath loud and ragged, and shoved me inside. The door slammed shut, the lock clicking fast. She looked at me, her eyes wide and wet, and whispered, "Don't you ever do that again!" I didn't know if she was mad or scared. Maybe both. I just nodded, my legs shaking under me. Inside the classroom, it was dark and stuffy. Everyone was crammed in the corner, staring at me like I'd done something awful. I slid down against the wall, hugging my knees, the crayon still in my hand. I hadn't let it go. My teacher paced by the door, talking fast into a phone, her voice too quiet to hear. My chest felt tight, like I couldn't get enough air. What was that man? Why was he here? My brain spun with pictures. Him pulling me outside, taking me somewhere cold and far away. I kept seeing his smile, sharp and wrong, like a wolf in a cartoon. The other kids whispered, their eyes big, but I didn't look back. I just wanted it to be over. The loudspeaker finally buzzed again, saying the lockdown was done, but it didn't feel done. Not to me. School let out early that day. Parents came rushing in, hugging their kids tight. My mom picked me up, asking what happened, but I didn't tell her. I couldn't. I just sat in the car, staring out the window, the crayon still in my pocket. My teacher had saved me. I knew that much. From what, I wasn't sure. Maybe he wanted to take me away, hide me somewhere no one would find. Or maybe worse. I didn't sleep good for weeks after. I'd wake up thinking I heard footsteps in the hall outside my room, heavy and slow, like his. Even now, years later, I can't walk down an empty hallway without checking behind me. I wonder if he's still out there, waiting for another kid like me, someone dumb enough to wander off alone. You have experienced a different life, a phenomenon that you cannot explain. Why? If so, share your story in the comments section below, because someone out there has also experienced the same thing. Don't be afraid to like the video, subscribe to the channel, because the next story could be even more interesting. Share your story. It was one of those gray, biting winter days in the third quarter of the school year, the kind where the cold seeps through your hoodie and into your bones. I was stuck in a rundown high school on the edge of town, a place where the paint peeled off the walls and the heat barely worked. My desk was scratched up, covered in years of carved initials from kids like me, bored, restless, waiting for something to happen. Class dragged on, the teacher droning about algebra or history or whatever, his voice blending into the hum of the flickering fluorescent lights overhead. I didn't care much. School was just something to get through, a routine in a neighborhood where trouble wasn't rare. Then it came, a faint shout from outside, sharp enough to cut through the monotony. I perked up, glancing at the window, but it was shut tight, fogged with condensation. Probably just some drunk stumbling through the snow, I told myself. Happens all the time around here. Still, my stomach tightened a little, like some part of me knew it wasn't that simple. The teacher stopped mid-sentence, his chalk hovering over the board. He squinted toward the window, like he'd heard it too. The room went quiet, all of us holding our breath without realizing it. He shuffled over, cracked the window open an inch, and leaned out. Nothing. The shouting had stopped, swallowed by the wind. I relaxed a bit, figuring it was over, but then the loudspeaker crackled to life. The dean's voice boomed, clipped and tense. "Lockdown. This is not a drill. Lock the doors now." My chest jolted. We'd done these before, fire drills, lockdown drills, but something about his tone felt wrong. Too real. The teacher rushed to the door, fumbling with the lock, then flipped off the lights. "Corner now," he hissed, waving us over. I scrambled out of my seat, my sneakers squeaking on the chipped linoleum, and joined the others piling into the back of the room. My heart was thumping, but I told myself it was nothing. Just another precaution. Still, as I crouched there, shoulder to shoulder with kids I barely knew, I couldn't shake the thought. What if this isn't a drill? Huddled in that corner, the room felt smaller, suffocating. The only light came from the faint glow of the emergency bulbs outside, casting long, jagged shadows across the floor. We weren't supposed to talk during lockdowns, rules drilled into us since middle school. But the silence was worse than any noise. It pressed down on me, heavy and thick, like it was hiding something. I stared at the door, at the thin strip of glass running down its center, waiting for a teacher or a cop to peek through and tell us it was fine. Nothing. Just darkness out there, stretching into the hallway beyond. My mind started wandering. Maybe it was a fight gone wrong, some kid with a knife in the bathroom. Happens sometimes. But then I remembered the shout from outside, deep, guttural, not a kid's voice. My palms got sweaty, and I wiped them on my jeans. The girl next to me was trembling, her knee bouncing against mine. I wanted to ask her to stop, but I didn't. I was too busy listening, straining for any sound beyond that damn silence. Then it hit, screams, loud and unhinged, tearing through the hallway like a chainsaw. Not scared screams, not like ours would be. These were angry, wild, the kind of noise a grown man makes when he's lost it completely. My whole body locked up, every muscle tensing at once. The sound was close, too close, bouncing off the lockers, growing louder with every second. I pressed myself harder into the wall, my back scraping against the rough concrete, like I could disappear into it. The others started whispering, panicked little gasps, but I couldn't move, couldn't think. All I could do was listen as those screams got nearer, clearer, until they were right outside our door. Something slammed against a door down the hall, maybe the next classroom over. I heard muffled cries from kids in there, high-pitched and terrified. My mouth went dry. This wasn't a drill. This wasn't a fight. Someone dangerous was in here with us, and all we had was a locked door and a teacher who looked as scared as I felt. The screams stopped for a second, just long enough for me to hope he'd moved on. Then they roared back, right outside our room. Bang! Bang! The door rattled in its frame, each hit shaking the whole wall. I flinched, my hands flying to my ears, but I couldn't block it out. He was yelling now, gibberish mostly, mixed with stuff like, "I'm sick of it," and "just stop already." His voice raw and broken, like he'd been screaming for hours. Then a new sound, crack! The glass in the door splintered, shards tinkling onto the floor. I saw it, a shadow looming through the cracked window, tall and hulking, his arm smashing through. Kids around me started crying, soft sobs turning into full-on wails. I didn't scream. I couldn't. My throat was locked tight, my eyes glued to that arm clawing at the lock. He was going to get in. I knew it. Then the teacher moved, fast, faster than I'd ever seen him. He grabbed a pair of scissors from his desk and lunged, stabbing down hard. A howl ripped through the air, and blood sprayed across the broken glass. The arm yanked back, and I heard him stumble, still screaming, still pounding as he staggered away down the hall. The banging faded, replaced by a ringing in my ears. My hands were shaking so bad I had to shove them under my legs to stop them. The room was chaos. Kids sobbing, whispering, one girl hyperventilating in the corner. The teacher stood by the door, scissors still dripping, staring out like he couldn't believe what he'd done. Blood pooled on the floor, dark and sticky, catching the red emergency light. I kept waiting for him to come back, for the door to fly open, for those screams to start again. Every creak of the building made me jump. Every shadow felt like him lurking. Minutes crawled by. 5, 10, I don't know, until sirens wailed outside. Cops. Finally. I saw their lights flashing through the window, blue and red cutting through the gloom. The loudspeaker crackled again, all clear. But it didn't feel clear. Not with that blood on the floor, not with the echo of his voice still bouncing around my head. They said they caught him, some crazy guy who'd wandered in off the street. No gun, no knife, just rage. That was supposed to make me feel better, I guess. We filed out of the room eventually, escorted by cops who looked more annoyed than worried. The hallway was a mess, glass everywhere, a smear of blood trailing toward the exit. I kept my eyes down, not wanting to see the others, not wanting them to see me. My legs felt like jelly, but I made it outside, the cold air hitting my face like a slap. I should have been relieved. He was gone, locked up somewhere. Probably a psych ward, they said. But as I stood there, watching the police cars pull away, all I could think about was how close he'd gotten. How that door almost wasn't enough. That night, I didn't sleep. I just sat on my bed, staring at the wall, replaying it all. The screams, the glass, the blood. It's been months now, and I still hear him sometimes, late at night when the house is quiet. I tell myself he's gone, that I'm safe. But safe feels like a lie. Because out there, in this messed up world, there's always another door, another shadow, another scream waiting to find you. And I don't know if I'll ever stop listening for it. It's January, and the snow's coming down hard outside the old Art Institute in Massachusetts, where I've been working nights for years. I'm used to the quiet. Most folks would be, scrubbing floors and wiping down sinks while the world sleeps. But tonight, the air feels heavier, like the building's holding its breath. I've never liked this place much. Too many creaky boards, too many dark corners. But the pay's decent, and I need it. Lately, though, people have been talking. Teachers whispering about noises in the walls, students swearing they've seen shadows that don't match anyone around. I shrug it off as I start my rounds, mop in hand, figuring it's just an old building settling. Still, I can't shake this itch at the back of my neck, like something's off. I tell myself it's nothing. Just my mind playing tricks after too many late shifts. I push into the upstairs bathroom, the one with the chipped tiles and flickering lights. The mop sloshes against the floor, and I'm halfway through when I hear it. A faint murmur, like someone's talking low and fast behind the wall. I freeze, mid-scrub, straining to listen. It's gone as quick as it came, replaced by a soft scratching, like fingernails dragging over plaster. My chest tightens. I've heard pipes groan before, sure, but this feels alive. I step closer to the wall, ear hovering an inch from the cold surface. Nothing. Maybe I'm losing it. I've been alone too long tonight, that's all. But my hands shake a little as I finish up, and I keep glancing over my shoulder, half expecting to see someone standing there. I mutter under my breath, get a grip, and head out. But that sound's stuck in my head now, burrowing deep. The hallway's next, long and narrow, lined with weird paintings the students left behind. The lights buzz overhead, casting my shadow all crooked against the walls. I'm dragging the mop bucket when a new noise stops me cold. A low rumble rolling through the vent above me. It's not the wind. It's too heavy, too uneven, like something's shifting up there. I tilt my head back, staring at the rusty grate. A speck of dust floats down, catching the light, and my throat goes dry. My mind's racing now. Could be a rat, maybe a busted pipe. But then I remember what the day janitor said last week. Don't linger near the vents. Something's not right. I laugh it off, a shaky little huff, but my legs feel like lead as I move on. I want to believe it's nothing, but my gut's screaming at me to get out of here. I don't listen. Not yet. I've got one last job tonight. Grab a drill from the basement supply closet. The stairs creak under my boots, and the air down here's thick with damp and the sour stink of old paint cans. My flashlight bounces off the walls as I weave through stacks of junk, heading for the closet. That's when it starts. A tapping, sharp and steady, coming from the big vent along the back wall. It's louder than anything I've heard all night, insistent, like someone's pounding to be let out. My heart's hammering now, but I can't just leave it. What if it's a pipe about to burst? I grab a screwdriver from my belt, hands slick with sweat, and creep closer. The tapping speeds up, matching my pulse, and I swear I see the vent shudder. I'm not thinking straight anymore. Just need to know what's making that damn noise. I jam the screwdriver under the vent's screws, prying them loose, telling myself I'm in control. I'm not. The last screw clatters to the floor, and the vent grate swings open with a groan. Before I can blink, someone lunges out, a blur of ragged clothes and wild eyes. He slams into me, knocking the flashlight from my hand. We hit the ground hard, my back smacking concrete, his weight pinning me down. Panic explodes in my skull, pure animal fear, and I thrash, fists swinging blind. My knuckles crack against his head, once, twice, and he goes limp, slumping off me. I scramble back, gasping, staring at this filthy, stinking guy sprawled out cold. The flashlight spinning on the floor, lighting up his face, gaunt, unshaven, not a ghost, not a monster, just a man. But my hands won't stop shaking, and my brain's screaming. What the hell was he doing in there? I stumble to my feet, grab the flashlight, and shine it into the vent. It's empty, but I feel sick, like I've uncovered something I wasn't meant to see. Cops show up fast after I call it in, their radios crackling as they haul the guy away. He's awake now, mumbling to them, and I catch scraps of it. He's homeless, been squatting in the vents for weeks. Weeks. Watching us. He'd drilled tiny holes in the walls, the ceilings, spying on the bathrooms, the art classes, everything. I stand there numb as they cart him off to the hospital. One of the officers claps me on the shoulder, says I did good, but it doesn't feel good. I keep picturing those holes, imagining his eyes on the other side, every night I've worked here. My stomach churns. I thought the noises were nothing, just old pipes, my imagination. Now I know better, and it's worse than any ghost story I could have dreamed up. I shine my light on one of those holes later, a pinprick in the bathroom wall. It stares back at me, unblinking. I finish my shift in a daze, clock out, and trudge through the snow to my car. The Institute's dark behind me, but it doesn't feel empty anymore. It feels alive, crawling with secrets I can't unsee. I drive home. I'm home, heat blasting, but I'm still cold, still hearing that tapping in my head. I keep asking myself, how long was he there? Did I ever feel him watching before tonight? My apartment's quiet when I get in, but I check every corner anyway, peering at the vents, the walls. Sleep's out of the question. I just sit there, lights on, staring at nothing. I've worked nights for years, thought I'd seen it all. But this sticks. Next shift's tomorrow, and I don't know if I can go back. Maybe I'll quit. Maybe I won't. But one thing's for damn sure. I'll never trust a quiet building again. You have experienced a different life, a phenomenon that you cannot explain. Why? If so, share your story in the comments section below, because someone out there has also experienced the same thing. Don't be afraid to like the video, subscribe to the channel, because the next story could be even more interesting. Share your story.